Hello, my name is Kandra Witkowski. I'm the Director of Business Development here at Scoop Soldiers. We are in Chicagoland. We are launching a new market here. If your dog poops, we would love to scoop it. But the point of our podcast here is to inspire entrepreneurship, and I'm blessed enough to know a lot of fabulous business owners, especially in the Chicagoland area. So I asked Ilana to really just kind of walk across the street from your studio and come in. I have tons of business questions, but tons of skincare questions also. I'm getting older and the wrinkles are more noticeable. So it's kind of like a multi approach here today.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming over. Why don't you tell us like your name and your name of your business and kind of like stem to stern, like what do you guys do over there?
So I'm Ilana, and I'm the owner of Ilana Aesthetics and IA Studios. So about a year ago, I built out a space downtown Oswego and have myself, Ilana Aesthetics, in there. I have one other esthetician with me, and then two other businesses that rent from me.
Okay.
So I basically have three businesses that are in one location. So it's really fabulous. I specialize in skincare, transformative skincare, facials, peels, but I also do like waxing, threading, body treatments, things like that. So multifaceted business.
So what are the other two people that rent space from you? What are their services?
I have a hairstylist who has a business in there. She does cut and color. And then Nurse Injectors, Elevate Wellness. They do weight loss, hormone replacement therapy, things like that.
Okay. And when you said it earlier when you came in, I was thinking like, I'm not good at this. What do you do? What are the shots for your Botox? Yeah, I was thinking Botox. I didn't. Well, that's a nice complimentary service.
Yeah,
like all of them together.
It all really works well together.
Okay. So all skincare. Let's do skincare questions first because that's my primary goal. It's mainly about me. So what's the biggest misconception of like the difference between coming to see you for stuff or like picking some peel product up at Ulta? Like what's the misconception of a studio versus a DIY?
Ingredients.
Okay.
Science behind the service and the product. Realistic results.
Okay.
So when you go to a store and buy something, the FDA only allows it to have a certain amount of active ingredients in it. And they're allowed to have claims that don't support third-party testing and stuff like that. So when you go to an esthetician, obviously what we use in a facial is going to be stronger than what you can buy on the shelf. So that's where the corrective aspect comes.
Okay.
The home care comes from obviously pushing your results further, but also just strengthening the skin. And they have higher active ingredients, so you have better results, safer results.
Yeah.
And honestly, the cost isn't much different. That's a huge misconception as well.
Okay.
For example, if you buy something for $60 at a store, that might only last you a month, month and a half, because there are a lot of filler ingredients in that product. Whereas if you buy something off the shelf from an esthetician, that same product could cost $100, but it can last you 3 months. So if you really break down the cost per month, it's actually less than something you're buying at the store. So that's the largest misconception. They think, oh, I can't afford it from an esthetician. You actually can.
So it's not even like, it's kind of, would you say it's not even apples to apples? Like it's a different, like, it's not. Like if you do, I mean, you can get moisturizer at the store and moisturizer probably with you guys too, but like it's not apples to apples. And I actually, to be honest, I'd even say it's probably good that the FDA doesn't let the store sell high-powered things, because I would be the one like, I have no time. I'll just pick this up really quick, and then I'd come out looking like I was on fire because I didn't know what I'm doing.
Definitely still damage your skin with things over the counter. People mixing different actives that are not appropriate because they like what they sound like or they saw a TikTok. But with an esthetician, they guide you on how to safely use something, what your realistic results are going to be, and try and keep you on a strict schedule instead of product hopping, which can also hurt you as well.
Yeah, there's so much like you can walk into, like whether it's Target or Ulta or Sephora, whatever it is, we were just podcasting with Stacy, I get overwhelmed by that. It's over analysis paralysis. And then I probably do things that will make you cringe, like, oh, that looks fine.
Right.
Right. Like, and I don't even barely look at the ingredients because I'm already overwhelmed and I just forgot to pack my moisturizer and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So if you go to an esthetician, the price is fairly comparative, but it also comes with education.
Yes.
So that you know what you're doing. So would you even be willing to say running yourself into like the beauty spot at Target or Ulta or Sephora, whatever it is, you're going to probably spend more money because you're going to get the wrong products, or it's not going to give you the results you want, which caused you to go back to the store and buy something else. So if you would just come in and paid a smidge bit more, that lasts longer with the education behind it is actually, you ever heard of this? You ever heard of the saying, stepping over quarters to pick up pennies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really good at that. Right, like I like to be very frugal, but sometimes like, it just cost us $50 to save like I drove halfway to St. Louis to buy something off of Facebook Marketplace that just cost me more money, right?
Yeah.
So there's the education behind it. I actually even was talking to Ilana about, this is years ago, you came over and did a skincare class for my nieces who are now married and older, but I've got 2 more nieces coming up. I'm like, hey, I got to book you to have someone help do I think skincare is so important.
Yeah.
Would you say, like, what's the biggest misconception in skincare altogether, esthetician or not?
That more is better.
Okay.
Actually less is more.
You mean like the 18-step programs? We don't really, maybe you may or may not, but more than likely you don't need the 27 package product?
Exactly. You don't. And you can really fit a routine into someone's budget, no matter what it is. Like, I love asking people, let's be realistic and honest about your budget. And I know that sometimes it's uncomfortable to ask about money, but I want to get people the best bang for their buck. So tell me what we can spend, and I'm going to give you a very simple routine that'll give the best results for what you're looking for. You don't need a 10-step routine. You certainly can, but more is not better. Your skin can only handle a certain amount of ingredients at a time, and they can actually cancel each other out if you're using too many at the same time.
I kind of wonder that, like, but you do like, you know, like your moisturizer, and then my under eye cream, and then, you know, like the vitamin C serum, and then like my, I don't know, I've got some other thing, and I obviously just bring all my makeup stuff over to you and you tell me what's not good or not, but like then I have like a primer, and then I have my foundation, and then I have my sunscreen, and like by the time you add it, I actually think about that. I'm like, how many things are on how much of this is not even getting to my skin? Because by now I got to be an inch thick of just product.
Well, and that's why I love a morning and a night routine, because then you can introduce your skin to different ingredients at different times of the day, but still keep it simple. So I love like a good cleanser, a good serum, and a good moisturizer. Obviously SPF in the morning. I also do love a good eye cream. I feel like that's important as well. A lot of moisturizers aren't supporting that thin skin up there. It could actually be too heavy. So that's a really fun product to add in, but I like to focus on the core products first. Get you set up for success there. And then as we go on, we can slowly add things in. That's what I really like to do. I like to do like slow, smooth success.
Because I'm really good at like going in and buying like, I want all of those. And then I go home and the amount of products that are dusty on my shelf, because I'm like, I don't know why I'm lazy. But like at night, I'm like, I don't even have, this is 85 bottles. And I wash my face, I put on my night moisturizer. I'm like, oh, that's good enough.
Most people are so tired at the end of the day, and I want to do something effective that they can handle. And I think that keeping it simple is the best way to do it.
And I think selling somebody what's appropriate. Right? If I come in and I'm like, I only want moisturizer, like, okay, we can do that. But you've got some lines here, like, let me recommend one product versus being like, well, she looks like she's just going to get her credit card out. We'll sell her this and that and this and that. I think it's the customer service aspect and the education that brings clients back to you. And you're not really running a transactional studio, right? You need to make money, right? You have a daughter to feed and a house to pay for. But you're not looking to like, you ever heard this? It's like, what is it? Break even on the front end to break the bank on the back end. Right? Like sell them what they need that will get the results, so they spread your name, and then everyone comes back, and it's a better fit.
I just spoke to an incoming esthetician class at the Hair Professionals in town, and I was like, ask me the questions that you think are inappropriate or taboo or anything like that. And they said, how do you support a slow season? How do you, keep your clientele up? Like, how do you have these like higher ticket services or just transactions in general. And my biggest advice was you build up to that. That's how you can keep a client consistent. If they're coming in for a basic facial for the first time, I'm not going to sell them a whole bunch of add-ons, even though I know that that's what they need. They're going to leave being like, I just spent $300 on a facial. I can't do that every time.
Right.
So for me, it's slowly recommending what they need, educating them and opening their eyes to different things that will support their goals.
Yeah.
And same with skincare. And if someone has product at home that's not dangerous to their skin, I tell them, this is what I recommend. Use up what you have. And we can slowly piece together what you need. Typically, they still will go home with at least one product from me, which will give them the taste of like, wow, this is quality. And when they slowly are finishing with their products, they replace it with what is best for them from me.
I often wonder too, like some of the products that I've bought or that I've used, and we were kind of talking about this, like if I bought a product, and sometimes I buy something that's probably a little bit cheaper when I'm like, shoot, I forgot to grab this. And I'm not buying another $90 bottle of, like I'm going to be home in 2 days.
Yes.
But I often wonder, like some of these items, like is expensive always better?
It's not necessarily expensive isn't always better, especially at the store, because they're all kind of
it's branding
the same.
Yeah.
And they do really great. Like one time I was at a training and I inquired, I was like, why don't professional skincare brands go out on commercials and have these like gimmicky type things that grab you? Because there's plenty of stuff that I see that like grabs me too, but I know better.
Yeah.
And they were like, most professional skincare brands are smaller companies, and they do hand batches, so on and so forth. So they don't have that huge campaign budget to be out in everyone's faces. And nor do they want to, because you can't buy it without a licensed professional either. You can on Amazon, but half of the time they're knockoff products or expired. It's really dangerous. So, and I like to tell my clients, like, you can find it on Amazon and such, and you're running the risk of it not being the correct thing.
To save $5.
And I told them, I was like, I'm not telling you to buy it from me to give me money, because I personally don't even make that much off of a retail sale. I just know what you're buying from me is safe. And
it ties back to what you're doing as a business owner.
Yeah.
Your goal is to obviously make money, but to educate and provide when they leave that they feel good about themselves, that they know what they're doing, and what they're doing they're going to actually do, and not buy a bunch of stuff to keep in the car and then never use again. And they're not going to go back.
Exactly.
Because you're going to ask them how'd that go, and they're going to not want to tell you that they didn't do any of that stuff.
If a product is more expensive from a licensed professional, it usually means it is better. And what I mean by that is it has more active ingredients. Like for example.
So you're saying like if I don't know a brand, whatever the brand is, I could buy, the bottles could look almost the same from what you have in your salon, or it's just salon or studio? Both.
Either one.
In your salon, and what I find on Amazon, I'm like, oh, it's the same, but this one's $10 cheaper if I don't buy it at the salon. You're saying those two bottles could not be the same product?
Well,
or close.
Two ways. It's not quite what I meant, but you're right. They could be selling it for cheaper, and a lot of times it's like a totally different formula. Like it's like fake.
Yeah, so you think it's close, but it's like if it's cheaper, there's probably a reason.
But also on my retail shelf, let's say I have a product, I have a nice moisturizer called Oxygen Cream. It's very basic, and it is around like $70. But then I also have a moisturizer called Age Delay, which is about $155. The reason that price is so different is the results that you're getting with it. The Age Delay cream has 5 different peptides in it that communicate to your skin to plump, firm, brighten, tone.
Get rid of all this.
Whereas Oxygen Cream is great for someone that just wants a basic moisturizer. It doesn't have a ton of active ingredients in it. So within the shelves, there are discrepancies based on the activity of the product.
Okay.
Also, I carry retinol, for example. That's a huge ingredient that has a lot of buzz. And there are products at Walgreens and such that have retinol too, and they're significantly less. The reason is each ingredient has several different types of it.
Okay.
So it is kind of considered like a knockoff type on the shelf, whereas you're getting the actual retinol on the professional grade shelf. So that's where price discrepancies happen.
Okay.
So sometimes more expensive is better, but typically,
But not always.
not always. Like I said, like it might initially be more expensive, but when you're breaking it down cost per month, it actually is pretty much the same, if not cheaper than some products.
It's kind of like similar to dog food.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's some really higher priced dog food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yes, it's higher cost, but the Walmart brand or the whatever brand, they're having you feed your dog 8 cups.
Exactly.
Because and then if you just fed your dog, like this brand, you only need to do 2 cups.
Yep.
Like it's just it's a different. It's just the same but different.
It's literally the same. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I know that we're actually Lisa Cornelius is going to be in later. We're going to podcast with her, and I know she's over at the hair studio. And I know you work with them quite a bit, and you're a mentor in your industry. If there's someone that's watching that either is thinking about being an esthetician or they already own their salon, what would be one thing you tell them? Don't ever do this, or always do this as a business owner.
Never try and specialize in everything. That will absolutely kill your business.
And that's not esthetician only.
No.
Right? Like just keep it simple, stupid.
It's
right? Like
within your brand, find out what your specialty is. I always, especially with social media, am like, should I be getting this machine? Should I be doing this? Do I need to be taking this class because I'm not the strongest on this? And I have to step back and be like, Ilana, your specialty is transformative skincare through the work of education, treatments, and home care. And sometimes you feel like, gosh, am I missing out or whatnot? But when you take a step back and see you're following, you're like, no, this is my brand. This is my specialty. And I do still have new services here and there and whatnot. I worked at a spa for 13 years. I had a boss and everything, and she one time came back from a beauty show with this like $15,000 machine that we didn't have the clientele for. Yeah. And she wasted her money.
Yeah. There's so much to building a business that people don't think. They think,
yes.
And I usually use bakers. Like, I love cake. I love to bake. I'll be a baker. And then before you know it, you're baking, and you're not baking anymore. You're running a business, and it's the same thing. I can see like in cosmetology in general, there's so many products and so much stuff. If you don't know who your customer is, you could end up buying something. And I also think that. Because you love it and you can get excited, it's very easy to be like, we're going to start making this cake, or we're going to start having this product. And I always tell like my franchise owners and people that I help is take a step back.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm so big on what's the missed opportunity. So that $15,000 product, would that $15,000 have been better spent on blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Right? So what's the missed opportunity? So I very much love that you have such a good business mind that you know to unplug the excitement from it and be like, okay, so if I'm going to do this, what are all the other things? If I do this, I can't do that. If I'm going to do this and this product's half launched, should I get this one all the way? Like it's not, it's intentional and it's calculated, and it doesn't mean you won't do the $15,000 product some other time.
Right.
But it's not the right fit now. And I like that you do that and that you're instilling that in new business owners, because a new business owner doesn't know stuff yet. Right. You got to screw up a whole lot before you start figuring stuff out.
Yeah, that's why like people will ask me if this market is saturated, and the answer is yes, it is. Even just downtown here, we have so many providers, but we're all busy because we all have our own brand and our own specialty. I never feel like I'm in competition with someone because someone is going to always be better than me at something, and that is fantastic. that keeps our industry alive and all of us successful.
And so do you network with the other providers down here? For the most part, I mean, there may be someone you don't like, but I mean, for the most part, you guys all network together?
Yeah, like I love having recommendations. Like there are some clients that come in and I will not be able to really treat their condition to where they want to be. Say it's acne or rosacea.
Or it's like not your skill set.
Exactly. And they might need a medical provider instead of an esthetician. And so I always have in the back of my mind people to recommend for that. So I love that. I love that part of it.
Actually, even like as a small business owner, we can get very, and I'm referring to myself, can get very excited about, well, we should do this.
Right.
So if you have someone that has a need, because we're helpful people,
yeah,
right? I would say almost all business owners are just helpful people. So I can see when someone's like, I would like to have this service, you thinking, oh, I should just do that service because they need it. But when you've got a network of people that you're like, no, go down here and see Sally. She does that. And when Sally has someone that needs transformative skincare, she's like, I don't really do that. But head down to Ilana and she does that. So there are ways to help your customer that doesn't involve you restructuring your entire business model to do that.
And even if you lose that client because someone's skill set suits them better, because you approached it that way, they will still refer you to people that would fit me. Because that's happened before. Someone's like, no, I'm actually really looking for a laser treatment. So they'll do that. Maybe a facial or two a year with me, but I still have referrals from the person that is getting lasers somewhere else.
I think if you are working with somebody, like you just do the right thing. Right? If we're just all good humans and we just do the right thing, right? Like it's not about you have to make this extra $50 so that Sally doesn't. It, like if you lose $100 to Sally, there's a really good chance Sally's going to kick you $500 back the other way. Like that networking is that way. Now we were just talking to Stacy about that. I think sometimes, and I'm a natural networker, it's in me. And I don't know how to not have it be in me. And we were talking about our CEO of Scoop Soldiers. He's a good networker, but he's said that he needs to be intentional with it. Right? It just happens for me, right? And I need to be intentional about other things. But I think that when you network, I think in my brain, I think when I'm networking with the goal of helping you, I get more out of it. When you're like, well, I'm going to network with Ilana so that she can give me business. In my opinion, I don't think it always works best that way. Is that kind of how you've networked in your industry to be like, I would like more customers, but if I help Sally out more, like good juju just begets good juju.
I love it. Like I just got my bathroom at my house renovated and I posted it on my business page because a lot of my clients value my recommendation. They know I've put the work in to find like the best person to do my work. And so they feel comfortable and confident with my recommendation. And then the person that did my bathroom has trust in me and then refers me out. And we've both helped each other. And I just love that. I just think that that's so fun.
Now that I'm thinking, like the more podcasting I do with business owners, the more I realize how helpful business owners are. And do you think being helpful, if there's two business owners doing the same thing and one's naturally more helpful, do you think that affects their business? Like I never thought about that till and I've been doing a lot of podcasts in the last few days. I'm thinking back, like every person they're just naturally helpful,
especially
and that has to be like
here.
A characteristic. So tell me more about the downtown. And we've already podcasted with Jody at the Village Grind, and now Bella Gia, and we're gonna get Megan, but Megan's like, it's Valentine's Day, so we're connect with her. But how's the downtown really helped your business and all the businesses down here?
I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce and then also the Downtown Association, so the different events and stuff. And, the different events don't necessarily generate a ton of business, but it generates visibility, which is one and the same for me. I want people to be like, oh yeah, that's where she is. Like that's, visibility is so important. And then the Chamber as well. Some years I'm more involved than others, but you're still part of this group.
Life ebbs and flows on when you can do more and when you can't.
Absolutely. And I had just mentioned to Angie that we have so many women-owned businesses in the downtown, and how cool that would be if we do something about that, whether it's individual or as a whole, we put an article together, because how cool is that to have a dominantly owned woman, woman business in the downtown.
Yeah.
And she was like, that sounds great for summer. And so it's really
keep
cool.
When we get done, I'll look and see. So we use a vendor, White Picket Team does our media and that kind of stuff. And we were just approving, I don't even know what month, March, must have been March posts I was approving. And it's I don't remember, it's National Women's Day or something like that. So what I had asked our White Picket Team to do is a media person here. I'm like, can you email each of my female franchise owners, and I'm like, ask them to answer these 3 questions. And then we just had headshots done at our conference, and then we can do like, I don't know what all the words are, but we can do like a post that has like a headshot of the franchise owner with an inspirational quote as a female.
Yeah.
So I'll look and see what day that is, and that's something you can very easily do.
Absolutely.
And, like it's right there. It's just paying attention to the calendar, and I think it's great, obviously, right? Like strong independent women attract small independent women.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many down here, majority.
So do you think that, and I'm not like man bashing or anything, but do you think that our downtown community is strong?
Yeah.
Do you think it is because it's a women-led group?
I
don't know. I don't mean that to be bad in any way, but like minds come together.
And I think a lot of our businesses sort of intermesh.
Yes.
And I think that's really a point. Even if it was a man owning a business and it really worked with, what the businesses were, I think they would intermesh nicely. But I think that we, are strong and dominant down here, and we love community. I feel like Oswego is really strong on community over competition.
Yeah, I think I would agree. So for marketing, how do you attract customers? I know you're very heavy on social media. Like, what are your main avenues for attracting customers?
Most of my clients are word of mouth.
Perfect.
Especially because I'm appointment only.
Yes.
I get a ton of that. A lot of people recently have been coming to me from online reviews. So I try not to go on there and look. I think I have all 5 stars still, but you never know. I'm a stickler for enforcing my cancellation policy.
Yeah.
So I know one day something's going to pop up.
But you've set that expectation already.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You've set that expectation. I think customer expectations are so huge.
Yeah.
Right. If I know and it's not our customer's job to know things. Right. Like when we come to scoop your dog poop, we know the grass shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
We know your leaves should be picked up. And as soon as I say, hey, we can't scoop your yard very well because we think we did a pretty good job, but you're like, oh shoot.
Yep.
We should go ahead and get those leaves cleaned up. And I think it's that customer expectation.
Yeah.
So when you don't have to be like crazy with it, but you're like, here's my cancellation policy and here's why.
Yeah.
And if things happen, then
absolutely.
I get it. And I'm sure that every now and then there's an emergency, you just let it go.
Oh,
but for the most part, like people are busy and they don't your customer doesn't realize that you're not there all day. Right. And so when they're like, well, I'll just cancel, it's fine.
Yeah.
She's going to be there anyways.
It'd be like going going to work and being like, you're going to be paid $400 less today, but do the same amount of work.
Yeah, right. But also sit here.
Yeah.
And I'll call you like 5 minutes before and be like, well, we don't really need you today.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really work that way.
So yeah, like reviews are really big for sure. And then I try and do, especially now that I have an employee, really getting her visibility as well. And for March, we're going to roll out a referral program. Okay. This month, we did a couple fun little treatments, and I always try and do a holiday-themed giveaway, and that's super fun.
Yeah.
So little things here and there, because I'm not a discounter. I don't do a lot of discounts with my business. It's just not my brand.
Yeah. I don't think you should ever compete on price.
Yeah.
Right? Like there may be I can't think of a good example for you, but there may be maybe there's a client that we have that's like, hey, money's a little bit tight. I think I need to cancel services.
Yeah.
We don't want to discount our services, but we may say, have you considered every other week scooping?
I do the same
like
exact
that type
thing.
of thing. But competing solely on price is never going to win.
Yep.
I think you should shop your competitors so you know what the market can bear.
Yeah.
And then you work in your financials and your P&L. If you can charge $3 less for that facial and still throw good money, and your customer's happy and you're attracting the client that you want, then charge $3 less.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to match the competition. It has to fit your P&L. Yeah. If you're not making money, what's the point?
Right. And I tell them, I do the same thing. I'm like, let's do a 30-minute facial every other time. Or I have a lot of services that are a la carte too. And that was something that I was really excited about when I opened my own business, because it attracts so many people for a quick trip. And then that either gives them the introduction to the full thing, or it keeps them coming consistently, because I'm not having clients just to make money. I'm having them to establish care for
long term,
a goal.
Right. You're not, I can't think of it like, I can't even think of like a chain or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with franchising. Chains are fine.
Yeah.
But like you're not transactional.
Right.
You're looking to build that relationship and then be with that client from the 13-year-old preteen.
Yep.
I think 13 is preteen one. Like from the 12 or 13-year-old to the 49-year-old auntie, right? Like the whole stem and stern of it all the way through. So you do a lot of social media, and you said a lot of your customers come from referrals. You seem to be primarily using social media as education.
Yes.
Would you agree with that? And you think the education just reminds your existing clients of services that you can do, and then services that they can refer their friends and family to?
I think so, and it's a little bit of kind of a scrapbook of my services and results and what I offer. I would say that I don't look into algorithms and stuff like that. I could be a little better at that. I don't know if it's because I am just
busy?
not, and I'm not from that era. Like, you know, you post and everyone sees it, but it's not like that now. So I just sort of post, and if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that, there's some for us, we do a lot of media.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we just flew Jeremy in to do podcasts. Like,
Yeah.
we do a lot of media, and we do look at a lot of the analytics. But there's something that, I mean, we're nationwide, right? We're 18,000 clients deep, like trying to figure, and we have franchise owners, right? So when a franchise owner, they have franchise requirements, like investing in marketing. And so we want to make sure we're getting the best ROI for that franchise owner, but that's different from organic marketing versus paid, right? There's all kinds of different avenues. And like I said, we're blessed to have a vendor that helps with all that kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, I think you're right. I think sometimes you can get tied into the minutia of, oh shoot, let me reshoot that, and then before you know it, it's 6 hours later for a 10-second video that 3 people saw.
Yeah, there's so much more I could do, but it's kind of like when we talked about you don't have to be good at everything. Like, I'm probably never going to have a TikTok and do videos for my business. Could that generate business? Sure, but that's just not me.
Yeah.
So, I do shift as the market shifts. I always try and stay current and what people are wanting to see, but I also like to still have my private time and not just constantly being like posting and stuff like that, and just keep it educational and whatnot. Yeah.
So what are you thinking like long term for your business? Are you thinking, like, I know you live downtown Oswego, are you thinking of, do you have space to add more vendors, or not more vendors, more vendors in, like more partners? Or
I mean, that would be wonderful,
because it's just such a big industry, right? Like we just said, you could pick all kinds of things.
I mean, that would be great. Like, if I could have a second location. I don't have any available rooms where I'm at.
Yep.
I did have a pretty stressful build out just with
seeing that.
building being so old and some complications with the last place I was at. I feel like I'm well equipped for doing another one, but I have to have so there's always for me an itch for growth, but I also have to teach myself there's always time for rest too.
Right.
And I don't mean like I'm not hitting the pavement, but like it's okay to have my business where I'm at.
Right. And like I said, that ebbs and flows too, right? So when Eloise is older, maybe you're hitting this thing hard, right? Like, I mean, part of the benefit of being a business owner is that flexibility.
Yes.
Right? Like, you can step out on a Friday morning and do a podcast, or if Eloise has a field trip, you can not block your schedule. That also comes with, I might have to work a Saturday now.
Right.
I mean, there's that give and take to things, but that's part of it. And as you're, and you are very young, you have a lot of life ahead of you, and that will change, right? There are some times where I don't feel like working 60 hours next week, and you can adjust that. So that's one of the benefits of being a small business owner. What would you think would be another benefit of being a small business owner? Or what do you find being the best benefit of being a small business owner?
I love that I can just have something I'm proud of. The reason I left the spa that I worked at was my goals and ethics weren't aligning with my boss. So I know that I am holding a standard that I am proud of.
Right.
And the esthetician that I hired also, she worked with me at the day spa, and I trained her right out of school.
Good.
So when she was looking to work somewhere, I'm like, this is so perfect because she has the same standard and goals and ethics as I do, and it was so perfect. And I just love that, and I love the idea of giving people employment. I think that's fabulous.
You know what that means, right?
What?
You know what that means? You're a natural born leader.
Oh, well.
You're a natural born mentor. You're a natural born. That's the old lady can say these kinds of things.
Are you a Virgo?
I don't know. I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, okay.
I'm December.
I'm a Virgo, which I've heard is natural born leader.
But it's in you.
Yeah.
Like you can't help not. Like when she called you and said, I think I might be looking for somewhere else to go. You didn't say, you should try over here. You said, like she's a good fit for my business. How do I make that work here?
Right.
And then how do I lead and mold her into who I would like her to be as a business partner, even though she's not a business, but like how can she support you?
Yeah.
And then like how can you so if you're, and we just had a similar conversation, but if she's working for you, you're either, and this is the heart of who you are, you're either going to mentor her to the best of your ability to be who you would like her to be to help you.
Yes.
And if she doesn't stick, you're mentoring her to be who she should be for where she goes next.
Exactly.
And that is a natural born leader. When you were back at the day spa, you were training her to be a good esthetician wherever she lands.
Exactly.
And that came back and paid, like if you just do the right thing, right? Like in today's world, I don't think everyone's always doing the right thing.
Right.
So I think and I didn't mean to cut you off, but that means
absolutely.
you're, like, I don't know if that's, people always don't compliment that you are a natural born leader and you don't even realize you're doing it. So keep doing it.
I was laying in bed the other day and with my husband, and he's like, oh, like, you got your podcast soon. And he's like, what's it on? I'm like, basically entrepreneurship. I was like, that's the first time that I really thought about that I'm actually an entrepreneur. I was like, I technically have two businesses. I have IA Studios and Ilana Aesthetics, and I basically give employment to 4 people, 2 businesses and 1 employee, and that's amazing.
It's a different mindset, right?
Yeah.
You're not just turning and burning clients
Right.
and checking the box and getting your paycheck, right? Like you're thinking beyond yourself.
Right.
And I'm not saying that not all people do, but there's a special person that, like I said, you could have just referred her to somewhere else.
Right.
But and I don't even know, were you looking for someone when she called you?
No.
See, so you found the opportunity and you made that opportunity fit, and just keep doing that.
Right.
Like just even if this girl doesn't stick, it sounds like she will. Just keep pointing people in the right direction. And I know it's hard. It's hard sometimes to be like, that's really gonna suck for me.
Yeah.
But if you just keep doing that, the world will pay you back.
Yeah.
Right. Like it just does that.
Yeah.
So I forgot what we were talking about. I could not compliment you on
thank
doing
you.
that. And I'm actually glad that, I'm glad that you realize you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes someone to say you're not, and you're like, oh shit, I am.
Yeah.
Look at that.
No one's ever said that to me.
Oh, you are. No, you're great. I found your educational stuff. I mean, I don't live around here anymore, but I watch it, and I'm like, well, that makes sense, right? Like that makes sense. That's helpful for all. So
I love my career because it mixes beauty, psychology, and science, and I love those 3 things. And I feel like it is just the most perfect career for me, and I was able to turn it into a dream I never knew I had.
Right? Yeah, you know what you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Wait, you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And you didn't even know that entrepreneurial seed was. Do you have any other, are your parents or sibling, anyone else entrepreneurs?
I mean, some family members, but
You're not a direct descendant of like, my mom didn't own a grocery store and her mom didn't own a grocery store and like.
Yeah. No, I just sort of, when I dropped out of college, I told myself, I am going to make a career that someone as successful as someone in college. Because back in the early 2000s, that was still the mindset, was college. Trades weren't really pushed. And I hit the ground running. And from a very early age, I was very headstrong. I worked a lot and I built myself up. And this is just the byproduct of it.
Yeah, I didn't go to college either.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just feel like my mom always said, if you're going to be a ditch digger,
Yeah.
You be the best ditch digger you can be.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Abraham Lincoln said, whatever you are, be a good one. And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's so much, things can get so much, and I don't know, maybe it's social media or whatever, this is even business related, but our worlds are so complicated and there are so many different things, like kiss, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
Everything doesn't have to be so complicated. And we
Right.
can find so much missed opportunity taking one step back and be like, I don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe not, and I also at my age feel like I always reserve the right to change my mind.
Yep.
Right. So tomorrow I may say, I'm going to go to school and be an esthetician. I'm going
Right.
to ask Lana if I can work for her.
Yeah.
Like, and then the next month I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Exactly.
Right. So if you keep, not everything has got to be forever. So
Yep.
if you think I'm not doing this now,
Yeah.
but that may be something we consider in 2027.
Right.
Right. Like, doing your things and knowing your numbers and setting a plan and not just being like a bull in a china shop,
Right.
just doing all the things is kind of, I think it's really important. So let's talk a little bit about branding.
Okay.
Like, because your studio is, like I said, it's a fixture in the community, but there's also multiple studios down
Yeah.
here. And you work very hard, like with your gear and your things. Like, what's your focus on, or how do you stay focused on building your brand?
It's more of like an extension of myself.
Yeah.
I want people to feel like they're coming home every time they come to me, and they love that. I also just am very open with my clients as well, so they really get to know me and see that everything that I project into the community is me. It's not a facade. It's
Take it or leave it. This is who I am.
just a template on
Yeah.
Canva or something like that. Like, it's actually like coming from my heart, and how my studio space looks is almost just like how my home looks, because I love home and I want to feel that way when I'm in there as well. And I really feel like my clients do too.
Yeah, that's pretty comfortable. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's homey. It's not, you don't feel like it's white floors and
Yeah.
white walls and everything is, I mean, it's clean, but it's not
Yeah.
like you know, like
Yeah.
it's not a hospital setting. It's
Right.
inviting, comfortable, and all of those things.
And even like when I worked at this day spa, she never would change logos or any type of look, and I love to kind of always ever change that. There's still that like dark, moody aesthetic that I have going, but I just recently like updated the background of my website or stuff like that to be more like dark, moody spring. So I'm also still always changing.
Like the core of it's there.
The core of it's there, but yeah, I kind of evolve with the season too, and I think that keeps it fresh and fun.
Okay.
And I love that.
Yeah, and I think doesn't like fresh and fun and like cosmetology kind of
Yeah.
like go together?
Yeah.
Right? Like if you ever walked into a studio or a salon somewhere and you're like, this feels like my grandma smells.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Right, no,
You're
I mean, like,
it hurts my body physically. I'm like, I can't.
So we'll kind of wrap on like, I'm big on motivation, right? And being a small business owner and a wife and a mom to a super cute daughter who seems very energetic.
She is.
And she seems like she's full of spice and life.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that would be a full-time job. So the grind of having to do all of the things.
Yeah.
How do you, like, if you were looking to a business owner out there or someone looking to get into business, what is your motivation? Like, what advice or motivation would you give to someone to be like, yeah, I get you, girl. Like, I'm a mom, I got a business, and today really just sucks. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it anyways. Like, what's your motivation?
You have to love it. You have to be willing to hustle when you're tired. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. I'm not saying, do everything till you're sick, but like you have to be able to be uncomfortable for a little while, which is why you have to love it. So, like I, right before this podcast, was like, I don't feel like going home. I'm going to go hang out at work, and I was able to create a space like that because of the hard work, some tears, some missed things with the family, but it was for a dream that I am in love with.
Yeah. And that pays you back.
Yeah.
Time over time, hand over fist.
Yep.
Yep, for
Yep.
sure.
And like even when I was moving to this new space, when I did the build out, my daughter felt so comfortable at the last place. She actually cried that I was moving. And then when I opened this place, she said to me, this feels like home.
Oh.
And it's like, some people say they have their dreams and do this for their family, and I'm a little different. I actually did it for myself. And I feel like because I did that for myself, it creates the healthiest version for me, which in turn is for my family.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. You have to do it for yourself.
It's like the air mask on the plane, right?
Yeah.
They always tell you if the plane goes down, you got to put your oxygen mask on first before you help anybody else.
Right.
And yeah, you the better human we are. And so we're gonna wrap in a second, but I had a side thought because you're young and I'm old. I remember a billion years ago. I'll just keep going, and I somehow learned, probably because I got tired one day, is I am a better leader and a better business owner and a better person when I don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And earlier in my life, I'm like, you got to go. Just keep push. And at a certain point, I realized, like, and I think I ran my businesses successfully. I think that my family, like, I do all of the things. But at a certain point, I realized I am better when I'm a better human.
Yeah.
And that requires sometimes a book and a nap.
Right.
Maybe a margarita.
Yep.
Right? Like a little step back.
Absolutely.
And there's importance to going for a walk with your friend.
Yep.
Or importance of having a quiet cup of coffee at the grind with your book. And it took me a very long time to realize that. So I'm glad that the younger generation of business owners, the younger generation of women business owners are picking up on that.
Yeah.
And I only have the reference because I'm only a female business owner.
Right.
But I feel like women, and it's my interpretation, nobody else's, is we feel like we can do it all.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I'm like, just because I can doesn't mean I have to or I should.
Right.
Right. So I'm glad that you figured out early enough that you, like, it's fine to not work one Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, the world's going to be fine. Like, there's not I won't put words in your mouth. There's not an esthetician emergency.
No.
They have to run out the door at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I mean, like,
it's not
these
an emergency room.
Yeah, like, we could be better.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that you're, it seems like you're, like, turning the corner into, like, being the better you, which next year will be the better you again.
Right.
And that will just make you a better wife, a better mom, and a better business owner. And I think that that's exactly, like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really proud of you. Like, from years ago, I'm proud of who you've become and how you're just going to continue to grow. Like, you don't stop. Like, take your nap, read your book, drink your margarita.
Yep.
But keep plowing ahead. Us old ladies need you to keep fixing all these wrinkles.
You're so funny. I'm almost 40.
See, this is why okay, we'll take a screenshot and then we're going to say why you should go see Ilana. I'm 49. So
I do get Botox.
I was gonna say there's gonna be, and I'm like, I mean, I'm like you. I'm who I am.
Yeah.
And you can take it or leave it. I got a couple wrinkles. I got some bags under my eyes, but this was earned.
Yeah.
But if you took a side shot of and 10 years is a lot of time, of a side shot of the two of us, that is a clear. We'll do a poster for your window, and you're gonna double your business by tomorrow. So, but no, it definitely is a good career. I think self-care is good. I think that your education is the piece that gets me. So I'm glad you're doing all of those pieces, and I'm glad that all of those pieces have made your business better, which has made you better along the way. So we will link all of Ilana's stuff. And I always say this, almost everyone on my podcast or everyone that comes on our podcast is a natural mentor. So whether you're in aesthetics somewhere else or small business in a downtown community, reach out. I know you'll take a phone call. I know you'll answer a question. Same here. I'm always happy to help everyone. My questions are normally more poop related, but I'm happy to talk to anyone about business mentorship or leadership. But if you if there's an itch back there that you feel like you want to have a conversation about some dog poop, I'm your girl. You can give me a call. You can always check us out at scoopsoldiersfranchise.com. And again, we'll list all of Ilana's stuff. You never know where our next pet waste millionaire is going to come from, so we always appreciate people watching. Hopefully, we're inspiring some little gold nuggets that you might be able to pick up along the way. But keep watching and keep reaching out to people. You don't have to do all of this stuff on your own. There is a community of people around just waiting to help you build your business. And yeah, don't be shy. Reach out and keep watching our content. We appreciate it.